Welcome to Cinematic Recaps. Today I'll be talking about the 2013 sci-fi thriller movie titled Gravity by director Alfonso Cuarón. Spoilers ahead, so buckle up as we dive in. The Space Shuttle Explorer is in Earth's orbit, and one of its astronauts talks about his experience every time he passes over Texas. Their mission is to perform a set of hardware upgrades on the Hubble telescope, commanded by veteran astronaut Matt Kowalski and two others, Dr. Ryan Stone and Sheriff. They successfully upgrade it, and Mission Control back in Houston applauds them and tells them to take the rest of the day off. Mission Control tells Dr. Stone medical has noticed a temperature drop of 35.9 and heart rate rise to 70. They ask if she wishes to return to Shuttle. She tells them they've been there for a week and wish to complete the mission fast. She asks Houston if they're receiving any data from the Hubble. They tell her they're not receiving any data. Engineering back in Houston recommends she checks for visual damage on the components. She carries out a check and all the components look okay. It turns out she had previously warned them a thing like that could happen. They apologize for not listening and tell her to improvise. She tells them she'll need an hour to sort out the damage, and the mission congratulates her effort. Houston grants Matt permission to go and assist Dr. Stone in removing the panel. As they repair the damage, Matt starts a pep talk to cheer up Dr. Stone, who's been space sick for over a week. She loses a bolt, and he gets it for her. She tells him she's used to being in a hospital where everything falls to the floor. Just then they receive a message from Houston informing them of a Russian satellite that has incurred a missile strike, and the impact has created a cloud of debris orbiting at 20 miles per hour. Houston tells them the current debris doesn't overlap with their trajectory, but they'll keep them informed. Dr. Stone asks Matt if they should be worried. He tells her they should let Houston worry for them. Matt asks how she likes working for NASA, but Sheriff immediately responds over the comms. It's like winning a lottery. She tells him she's happy they didn't cut the funding to her research. Matt asks her what she likes about being in space. She tells him the science. They open the panel, and she tells Houston the comms appear to be dead and asks if she can cut the link to auxiliary. Houston gives her a go for it. Matt tells Houston he has a bad feeling about their mission and begins to elaborate. Just then, Houston immediately gives an abort alert to the ISS and the Explorer. They're told to disconnect the Hubble and initiate emergency procedures. Houston tells them the debris from the missile strike has caused a chain reaction, hitting other satellites and creating new debris that's traveling faster than a high-speed bullet towards their altitude. Matt thinks the Russians shooting down their own satellite means it's a spy satellite that's gone bad. Houston updates them with new data saying most of their systems are gone, the chain reaction is out of control and rapidly expanding, with multiple satellites destroyed and telecommunication systems dead. They'll be expecting a blackout at any moment. Just then, they see the debris orbit towards them at high speed. Matt goes to get Dr. Stone. As he struggles to unbuckle her tether, debris hits Sheriff, and he leaves her to go save him. Immediately, the Explorer gets hit, and she rotates around, barely hanging at the edge of the mechanical arm. Suddenly, another debris hits and cuts the arm, and she floats into space. As she screams in fear, Matt tells her to calm herself and listen to his voice. Though he can no longer see her, he tells her to detach her tether. She detaches herself and continues spinning out of control. Matt calls and asks for her location. She tells him GPS is down, and she doesn't know her location. He asks her to give him a visual, but she sees nothing and has difficulty breathing. She quickly calms herself and takes deep breaths. She sends Matt a message telling him she has a visual. She can see the ISS, but she gets no response. She continues spinning around and goes to the part of the Earth that's in darkness, when suddenly Matt contacts her and asks her to flash her light. He asks her to report her status. Her oxygen levels are low, and he asks her to slow down her breathing and conserve oxygen. Matt comes up from behind her, grabs her, and tells her to help him with the tether. He then pulls her to the shuttle, and as they make their way there, he tries to contact Houston. He tells her to set her watch to 90 minutes. He explains, at their current orbit and the speed of the debris, they have approximately 90 minutes before another encounter. She tells him she's very scared, and he tells her she did well on her first time encountering such a situation. As they continue to spin around, she bumps into an astronaut who's now dead and floating in space. Matt tells her to grab him. She struggles and finally succeeds to do so. She gets closer to him and sees his face has a hole in it. She then sees a picture of him and his family. They get to the Explorer and search for survivors. The shuttle is destroyed and everything inside is floating about. Suddenly, she sees the corpse of the other astronauts floating about the ship. The others are dead except for Matt, Dr. Stone, and mission specialist. Dr. Stone apologizes to Matt, telling him she's sorry for not stopping work when he asked her to, but he tells her they'd have gotten hit no matter what. He tells her they have to make their way to the ISS and use one of their escape pods. He contacts the ISS in Houston to inform them of their mission. As they make their way to the ISS, they say a beautiful sunrise. Matt starts a conversation to calm Dr. Stone. He asks her where she came from. She tells him Illinois. During their conversation, she tells him she's not going to make it. She's slowing him down. He continues and asks her what she misses down on Earth, if there's a Mr. Stone. She tells him there isn't. She tells him she had a 4-year-old daughter who slipped and hit her head in school while playing tag. A few moments later, she tells Matt her oxygen is down to 2%, but Matt tells her he's got good news and bad news. He tells her the good news is they're about 5 minutes from the ISS, and he knows where the Russians keep their pods, and the bad news is he's only got 10 minutes before they get hit by the cloud of debris. Just then, Dr. Stone informs him her tank is out of oxygen. He tells her tank is empty, but she's still got oxygen in her suite. As they approach closer, he sends a message to Houston telling them they have a visual on the ISS, but it appears to have been evacuated as the first Soyuz spacecraft is missing, and the second has suffered damages with its chute deployed, making it unsafe and impossible for them to use as an escape pod. Using their last maneuvering fuel, Matt gets them closer to the ISS at a high speed, and they try to grab onto anything they can find. The tether linking the two broke on one of the ship's solar panels, and they spin about the ship. However, Dr. Stone's leg gets tangled on the Soyuz's parachute cords, and she manages to grab the strap on Matt's suit. However, it soon becomes clear that the cords will not support them both as they're too loose. Matt tells Dr. Stone to let go, saying they both will die if she doesn't, but she insists on hanging on to him. He detaches himself from the tether and lets go to save her. Later, he asks if she's got visual of the airlock, saying she has to get in quick as she's beginning to breathe in carbon dioxide and losing consciousness. As she makes her way to board the station, Matt tells her to use the second Soyuz and cruise over to the Chinese space station. There she'll find the Chinese lifeboat, the Shenzhou. He continues saying the re-entry protocol is the same as the Soyuz, but she tells him she's never flown the Soyuz before. She crashed it every time during the simulation training. She continues saying she'll get the Soyuz and come save him. He tells her he doesn't have much time left and makes her promise him she's going to make it. Matt asks her why her name is Ryan, a boy's name. She tells him it's because her dad wanted a boy. Matt continues to drift further away from her, and their communication becomes distorted, but she hears him play a song over the radio. With her dangling consciousness, Dr. Stone succeeds to enter the space station. Inside, she takes off her suit and relaxes. Later, Dr. Stone makes her way to the communication room and tries to contact Matt. She tries for several minutes and soon realizes that she's the sole survivor. Just then, a big fire breaks out, and she's notified by the auto system and goes to put it out. She gets a fire extinguisher and starts spraying over the flames, but the high pressure pushes her backwards, and she hits her head, going unconscious for some time. She wakes up and tries to put it out again, but realizes it's consumed most of the station. Dr. Stone makes her way to the Soyuz and goes through the manual to figure out how to detach the Soyuz. She successfully detaches it, but as she maneuvers the ship away, its parachute stuck outside prevents the ship from leaving. Hence, Dr. Stone performs a spacewalk to detach the cables holding it back. While she performs the exercise, she realizes 90 minutes have passed and the cloud of debris is headed her way. Quickly, she detaches the last rope holding the Soyuz back, but it's too late. The debris collides with the space station, and she barely survives. She gets back into the Soyuz and continues her journey to the Tiangong space station. She aligns her ship trajectory and starts the engine when she realizes it's out of fuel. In her frustration, she tries to contact Houston or anyone who can get her radio frequency. Someone responds to her message, but they can't understand each other's language. The old man on the other side thinks her name is Mayday. She asks him to make his dogs bark for her, and she joins in with tears in her eyes. She tells the man she's going to die today and is so scared because no one will mourn or pray for her soul. In her frustration, Dr. Stone turns down the ship's oxygen levels to end her life. She lays back waiting to die when all of a sudden Matt shows up and starts knocking on the ship. He opens the airlock and gets in. Dr. Stone asks him how he survived, and he tells her he had extra battery power, and luckily she wasn't there to distract him. Matt gets a bottle of vodka under his seat and takes a sip. He tells Dr. Stone the Tiangong space station is about 100 miles away, and they better get going. She tells him there's no fuel, and she's tried everything. Matt asks if she tried the landing jets, saying landing and launching is the same thing. Matt goes on talking, telling her to not give up, and he understands her kid is gone, but she's got to move forward. He ends by telling her to wake up. Dr. Stone wakes up and realizes everything was a dream, and quickly restores the ship's oxygen flow and carries on to do what Matt had said in her dream. She rigs the landing rockets to propel the capsule towards Tiangong space station. As she does the final preparations to begin propelling, she talks to herself, telling Matt to hug and kiss her daughter where he is and tell her she loves her and will not give up. She propels off and gets close to the station that appears to be falling onto Earth. She's unable to dock and uses a fire extinguisher to maneuver her way onto the station. At the same time, the cloud of debris begins to strike the station. She manages to get into the station and make her way to the Shenzhou capsule to start the Earth landing module. However, she's confused by all the buttons written in Chinese, but finally she remembers Matt's message earlier that the buttons are the same as the buttons on the Soyuz. As the station continues to fall onto Earth, she contacts Houston and reports her condition. As they enter the upper atmosphere, the entire station collapses and begins to burn up, including Dr. Stone's capsule. The Shenzhou capsule is able to enter the atmosphere despite being damaged by the flames while descending. The capsule's parachute opens up and ends up landing in a lake. Meanwhile, radio communication from Houston informs her that she has been tracked on radar and that rescue crews are on their way. When Dr. Stone opens up the hatch and tries to get out, water rushes in and prevents her from getting out. The capsule sinks to the bottom, and she takes a deep breath and swims through the hatch. She also takes off her spacesuit, which is weighing her down, and swims to shore. The movie ends with Dr. Dr. Stone's success in saving herself while grasping the ground she so much misses. She stands up and walks away, laughing triumphantly. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications as it helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.